Hello everyone, this is Morgan with Rant Division once again, coming back with another tier list. This one's going to be for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I know a lot of you probably already know about Steve coming out, and the update 9.0 buffing a whole lot of people. This is what Nintendo seems to always do. They just buff the hell out of everybody and only slightly nerf anyone if they do nerf anyone. In this previous patch, the only nerf that I am aware of that happened, I believe Shulk. Yeah, Shulk got a nerf to his shield Monado art. Monado art? Whatever, the shield spell that he uses for neutral B. So basically, he can be knocked further back even if he's in shield, depending on how much damage he has. Other than that, everyone else got a buff. So, alright, so let's go ahead and I got some notes here. We are going to start off at the lowest. That's how I like to do it. Start low, go high. So, number one worst character for me, it's gonna have to be, I'm gonna say Ganondorf. I'm just gonna find him real fast because there's a whole lot of people here. Or characters, technically. And it's not set up like they'd be on the roster, I don't think. Yeah, because Joker's right here, and Joker's down here on the roster. Am I just blind, or is Ganon not here? There he is, I am blind. Alright, well that answers that. He's gonna be number one. For obvious reasons, whenever you watch someone that's doing like a look at this crazy combo I can do. They're usually doing it on either Ganon or someone like him. Usually Ganon though, because Ganon, really slow recovery time. His moves take forever to, come out. He's heavy. He falls fast, but not fast enough. Like Bowser falls really fast, but I believe he's actually a little lighter than Bowser. I think he's like a 118, Bowser's like 133. To give you a good comparison, Terry, who is not considered super heavy, is 108. So that's a little comparison. You can look that up, the stat data. You just type in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate stats. But Ganon's down there because, sure, he can kill if he lands a move, especially, down air off a ledge, but that's the same as any spike. If you're going to run around just spiking people, you might as well run, Mario or something. So, or Donkey Kong for that matter if you want a super heavy. So, he's definitely going to be my last place character. Little Mac is often going to be the next one. I would argue that the only reason he is this low, one, he has zero air game. He can't fight in the air. Two, he can't recover really. His recovery is very lackluster. But I will say that if you want to pub stomp, so what I mean by that is like low level players, people who aren't very good, Little Mac is the character to do it. He has a crazy amount of super armor, and fighting on the ground, he's very dangerous. Very able to abuse people who just throw out smash attacks nonstop. So low level players, he's the perfect one to stomp them. Other than that, as soon as you get past low level play, he's harmless. Lucario used to be next slot for me. Lucario got a huge amount of buffs, and I've actually played against a high tier Lucario recently, and he seems a lot better, actually. He feels better. He's still not, really high tier, but he feels way better than he did, just from the buffs that they gave him. So my next one is actually going to be Dr. Mario. Just because, Flood, I personally like Dr. Mario's down B as opposed to Flood. But Dr. Mario is much, much slower than Mario. and his moves feel harder to combo into because of it. And his floatiness feels bogged down by the fact that he's slower, even. So it just, with Mario, Dr. Mario, it's all about, up airs, or, basically just comboing into your own up airs. And then when you're on the ground, comboing into over smash, down smash, or, chain grabbing off of a grab into a spike. And with someone who's literally slower at doing that, you would want the faster one. He's the crappy version of Mario without any real benefit. So, let's go ahead and move on. I'm going to put Kirby next. So Kirby, he has some good functionality, and a god tier Kirby will make you regret saying Kirby's bad. But that's the same with any person who is god tier with their character. The argument is that if they were to play someone else that was high tier, that they would do that much better if they were the same skill level with that character. So it's just, all of his moves are kind of easy to catch, easy to read. He's fairly slow. His moves have a high downtime on them, so if you whiff something, you're going to get punished. His ledge trapping is okay, but easy to protect against and easy to know that he's going to do. It's just, he's not that great. The next one is probably going to be a little controversial, but it's going to be Dark Pit. So Dark Pit, sure, he has plenty of strengths, and if you are god tier with him, he absolutely will he'll scare you. But I personally think the Dark Pit, and Pit for that matter, are just not that great. I personally like Pit more than Dark Pit, because Dark Pit's Over B sends them straight forward, whereas the Over B on normal Pit sends them up. And I prefer having them up rather than away, because it's easier to combo, and if it's usually a lower kill percent on most maps to kill with Over B on Pit rather than Dark Pit. So that's kind of a personal preference. Just like all of these, this is an opinion-based thing for me. By no means does this mean you can't play any of the characters that I put in low tier. That's just my opinion. Alright, so let's go ahead and move to the next one. I'm going to put Rosalina next. Once I find her, that is... Rosalina, where are you? There it is. So Rosalina and Luma used to be just terrifying. But in this game, she's kind of, I don't know, she feels slowed down and feels like her combos aren't as smooth. So it's really like not that big a deal that she does everything that she does. Sorry, I'm gonna mute my phone. Didn't know it was gonna do that. There we go. Her moves feel slowed down. The pro player Dabuz still plays her occasionally. I saw him use her in the the Quarantine Squad Strike, I think it was. I think that's right. But I mean, it's kind of just a cheese factor, the fact that she can attack at separate intervals of Luma, but it's way harder to pull off than it was in the previous game, and Ice Climbers is way better at it. If you're going to do that, you might as well just play Ice Climbers. Alright, so next one's going to be Meta Knight. I personally do not like Meta Knight, as opposed to how he was in the previous game. You can still technically pull off the same, up air, into up B, but it's harder to do. It's easier to, since you can directionally air dodge in this game, get out of it, and you can SDI out of it pretty easy in this game. It's slower technically. I think it's like 2 frames slower on each up player, and it's a lot harder to die to it. So really, to me, if you're gonna do that with Meta Knight, it's kind of a cheese factor. Either that, or you're over, you're fairing, or you're back airing into your tornado near the blast zone on the sides, and it's just cheese strat. So I would say low level play. Maybe you could screw around with that. I've seen MKLeo do it in Squad Strike as well, but MKLeo is borderline god at this game. Most people are not, so use them at your own risk. I'm gonna say Duck Hunt is next. So Duck Hunt, it's just a wall character basically. You're playing defensively, you're throwing can out, you're using down B, frisbee to keep them at bay. If they get too close, you're trying to catch them on their engage with you, in ledge trap with him. That's the whole game. And to me, that's really boring. I mean, don't get me wrong, I play Samus occasionally. I like Samus for the fact that if I'm fighting Terry or Ryu or Ken, someone who don't want to fight them close up, then just build a wall, keep them away from me, shoot projectiles, run away, stuff like that. I don't like having to do that, and Duck Hunt does it worse than any other person or any other character that can do it. So to me, Duck Hunt kind of trash tier. Next one, even with the slight buff that she got, I'm gonna say Bayonetta. Bayonetta's not bad necessarily, and can still kind of do the combo, but the combo from the previous game got really badly nerfed, and overall, she hits hard even though she's a medium character, but there's tons of characters that do that in this and do it better. And realistically, she is not worth playing compared to any of them. None of her attacks are really all that great. She has decent frame data, I believe, on her dare, but it's also a risky move because it's really hard to interrupt it on your way down. So if you mistime it on the ledge, you can kill yourself. It's just not that great. Next one is kind of like the Little Mac syndrome. It's going to be Ridley. So Ridley is really strong in terms of pub stomp. So you can crush newbies with Ridley easily. The down B crit, the critical strike down B on Ridley does like 66%. It's nonsense. But it's really hard to land, and any good player is not going to let you ever hit them with it. It's like hitting someone with a Ganondorf B move, except for it hits way harder. Doesn't do as much knockback, but it does way more damage. So any decent player, not going to let you hit them with it. My heat just kicked on, so if you hear it, I apologize. Ridley's command grab, I would say, is like the strongest part of Ridley's kit, but again, pub stomp. Any normal player is either going to spot dodge or they're going to roll through. It's going to be really easy to avoid it. Or they're just going to jump over you and dare you on their way over. I personally think that if Ridley had better fluidity in combos, Ridley would be very, very high tier, but just not. Also, I don't have Twitch chat up right now, so if you are trying to type to me, you'll have to give me a moment. I don't have Twitch chat up. I apologize. Thought I had it going, but I don't. Give me one moment. There we go. Alright, so if you chat, I will see it. Okay, so the next one is going to be the Mii fighter, the brawler. Put him here. So, quick Yui. Sorry, I have a pet bird, if you didn't know that already. And he likes to interrupt me. He's a monster. Although I do love him, he is a monster. So the Mii Brawler, I personally think it's a little stronger than Little Mac, just because the recovery is easier, and it actually has air combat. Sorry, that's my alarm, and it's meant to be really annoying so that I actually wake up. But I woke up before today. Has really good air combat, actually, in my opinion. Again, all opinion based. Ground game's not as strong as Little Mac's, but still pretty strong. And then actually has real ledge trapping and off-stage combat, as opposed to Little Mac, who has none. And it overall just feels way better than him. Still not a high-tier character, but feels better than Little Mac. Next is going to be a little controversial, because I know I've seen a fair amount of people play it, and to me that's great. Play whoever you want. This is just to guide people in the sense of who do you feel like you should, main or learn how to play. Next one's going to be Robin for me. So Robin isn't necessarily weak, and has Robin spells are very dangerous, but to me personally, you might as well be playing Samus or Bowser Jr. or Ness or Pikachu. There's plenty of other people that do what Robin does, but better. So there's just, to me, there's no point in playing Robin. Next one is going to be King K. Rool. So King K. Rool, arguably the worst next to Ganondorf in terms of heavies. Super heavies, sorry. He's okay as a pub stomper, and I believe that's why he was considered OP when he first came out, because his gun and crown are really cheesy. So it's really, really easy to cheese new players with him, because they're not expecting it and they're not ready to defend against it or fight back against it. But as soon as you figure it out, he just becomes another super heavy that can't do combos and can't really fight. So the next one is going to be regular Pit. There he is. So again, I like him more than Dark Pit. He has basically the same kit, but his over B hits up instead of to the side, and I really, really like that in terms of comboing. It makes him way better in my eyes. So he's basically the same thing to be said about him. He's got a decent fair, he's got a decent up air. I don't like their down airs. Their dares are kind of crap. Their back airs are alright. Overall, Pit's meh, but that over B is dangerous as hell, especially in lower level play. So next one is going to be, I'm going to say Simon. Where is my boy Simon? There he is. So I don't hate Simon by any means. He's not necessarily a weak character, but he's kind of just like Samus, Bowser Jr., or any character that plays defensively and doesn't like to get within melee combat that often. You can. It's just like Samus. You can play that way if you want, but you're putting your character at a disadvantage because their kit lends to a more ranged profile. So this is kind of how it is. My next one is going to be the Mii Fighter. There he is. Why do these have a white background and these don't? That's weird. Sword Fighter. Okay. So, Sword Fighter, Pretty much just a crappy version of Link, in my opinion. That there's not much to be said about it. No matter what options you choose for the up Bs, kind of just a crappy version of Link. There's nothing to be said about him. He's not special. Kind of a boring character. Next one is gonna be. Sorry about that. Next one is gonna be Villager. If I can find it. There it is. So Villager. Villager can be fun. And Villager technically has people that can play it in high level play, mostly because in high level play a lot of pros recover low, and Villager can drop a damn bowling ball off the side of the stage and it'll just keep going, and if you get hit by it off stage, you're dead. So technically his ledge trapping's pretty strong, and technically he has good maneuverability, but overall Villager's just kind of blasé, not very good. That's going to lead me to the next one, which is Isabelle. I personally love Isabelle, but not because she's good. I love Isabelle because it's really fun to go against people and trap them with the fishing pole and grab them with the fishing pole over and over and over until they want to smash their controller in half. I enjoy that, mostly because I play against friends, and it's just fun. In high level play, you might see some Isabelles, and I know I've seen one Isabelle that actually beat a pro player, like stomped him. But again, that's just like any other character on this list. If you get really, really, really good with them and really good at the game, you can still technically make them work in higher level play, but you will never see one of these lower level characters win a tournament. You will not see that. Sorry, my throat's getting dry. Alright. Let's move on to the next one, which is going to be Diddy Kong. I'm actually going to put this one E tier. And E tier and E tier. Don't like them. But yeah, I'm going to put Diddy Kong next. Now, Diddy Kong isn't actually, I wouldn't call weak necessarily, but they really nerfed Diddy Kong from how it was in Smash 4. Smash 4 being Brawl. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it exactly, but she just doesn't feel as smooth. And I think that on top of that, there's so many characters in this game that are good that she kind of fell down. One moment. Let me tell this person to stop fucking calling me. There we go. Sorry about that. Next one is going to be King Dedede. King Dedede, I personally also enjoy playing. Again, not because he's good. He's better than King K. Rool for sure, and he's better than Ganondorf. And I've seen some high-level play with him that makes you reconsider, but at the same time, if you're going to play a super heavy, play Bowser, play Donkey Kong. They're way better. They have better combos, they have better moves, and they're just way, way more fun, in my opinion. So yeah. The next one is going to be Falco. If I can find him, he's around here somewhere. There he is. So Falco's gonna go next. Falco is he's okay. He's got a decent kit. He's nowhere near what he was in Melee or Brawl even. I don't know. He just doesn't feel that good. None of his combos are all that smooth. His aerials aren't that great. His ground moves aren't that great. Like, you're just way better off playing Wolf or Fox for that matter. They're way better versions of him. They're not exact same kits. They're not like Echo characters, but they're just better versions of his kit if you're wanting to play his kit. The next one's going to be Toon Link, the worst of all the links for sure. If I can find him. There he is. Yeah. Toon Link is Garbo Link. If you want to play Link, but you want to handicap yourself, there you go. Play him. He's kind of like the previous young Link in the last game, I think. But just not all that great. Moving up in the list, we are going to put... This is a tough one. I'm going to put Lucario next. So Lucario is way, way higher on the list than he used to be. And that's because I played against him recently, against a good player who didn't previously play Lucario that much. He played him before, hated him, he was super weak. We just got done playing 2 days ago after the patch, and he is way stronger than he was. So I'm putting him way higher up. He's still fairly low tier. You're not going to see him win any tournaments, but I would argue that he's actually viable to play now, rather than unplayable. He used to be unplayable. He had way too much lag on all of his attacks. He didn't have that much knockback or damage. They fixed his aura even. Like, he's just way stronger than he was. So I would definitely argue, if you want to screw around with a good fighting Pokemon, steel fighting type, whatever, he's a good one to pick up nowadays. Next one is going to be... Let's say Marth. So Marth is basically slow Lucina now. I used to really like Marth. He was one of my favorites in Project M and Brawl. Project M is unofficial, but I played it. He just feels way slower. His tippers aren't that great anymore. It feels really hard to confirm combos, and his ledge trapping isn't what it used to be. And his offstage isn't that great anymore. He just feels really... They kind of like nuanced his kit, and he feels very blasé compared to what he was. So, we are going to move to Ice Climbers next. Where the hell are they on this list? Ice Climbers. Okay, Ice Climbers. They are here now. They would have been way down in E tier, but they also got huge buffs. The biggest one was to Nana's AI. They made her less, for lack of a better term, stupid. She won't suicide as much anymore. She'll try to follow your commands better, and when you do up B with Ice Climbers, you probably already know that your character can recover Nana from a certain distance. They made that distance way further, and they just overall made Ice Climbers way better working together, and then also buffed their damage and range on some attacks. On top of that, I think an issue right now will be that the changes they made to Nana's AI, a lot of pros that like Ice Climbers, they knew how to get the Ice Climbers out of sync with each other so that they could start doing crazy combos. I think that will be way harder now with Nana being smarter. It'll be hard to trip it up to get them to attack separately, but I'm sure they'll find a way. I personally could care less. I don't like Ice Climbers, but that's my own personal opinion. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is going to be Donkey Kong. Now, a lot of people have seen Tweak play Donkey Kong, and I personally love playing Donkey Kong. He's very fun. He hits like a truck. He's got some fun combos, and he makes a lot of funny faces. Like, his down taunt is my favorite in the whole game. But he's still a super heavy that is outclassed by Bowser, and overall outclassed by most characters. The only reason he's not lower is he does actually hit hard. He has decent combos. He has a lot of kill confirms. But overall, he's just kind of blasé. He could be way better, but he also could be way worse. Let's go ahead and move up to the next one. We're going to put Jigglypuff next. Now, probably going to catch a lot of flack for this, but Jigglypuff to me is better than all of these. Jigglypuff being as floaty as it is, you'd think it'd be lower, just like Kirby, but has way better kill confirms than Kirby. Has less downtime on a lot of Jigglypuff's aerials, less downtime on smashes, less downtime on neutral B. It's just the entire kit is basically Kirby but better. But obviously, doesn't resemble Kirby's in terms of like what it is. It just same character model but better. Next one's gonna be Luigi. Luigi is just so much worse in this game than he was in the previous one, but he's still viable, and I've seen him get pretty high in the pros, but he's still just kind of meh. His down taunt killing's still one of my favorite to do if you can actually pull it off, but you're not going to pull it off unless it's low level play, really, or a pro player just doesn't expect you to do it. You're just being a troll. But meh. Complete meh to him. My next one, let's see. I'm going to say Lucas. So Lucas, similar to Ness, but not so similar to Ness. A lot of people who don't know Lucas that well, they think he's just an echo of Ness. Not even close. Their kits are very different. I would argue that TK Freeze is better than TK Thunder, but Lucas overall just doesn't have the same fluidity to his combos, and he has more downtime on all of his attacks. Not to mention that this patch, Ness got a huge buff, and Lucas got nothing. So, yeah. Which, I gotta say, that's kind of strange that they buffed Ness and Sonic so much, when in the Wi-Fi tournaments, a ton of pros have been complaining about how bad they are to play against some Wi-Fi. They made them way stronger, and they were already hard to deal with, so I'm actually expecting to see them banned in some Wi-Fi tournaments. Because, I mean, really, it's up to whoever finances the tournament what characters are allowed. Because sometimes the Mii characters are banned, sometimes they're not. I've randomly seen... who was it? It was one of the random characters got banned by the person who financed it. Like, it's strange, but... let's move on to... I'm gonna put... I think we're about halfway through the list now. I'm gonna put Zelda next. So Zelda isn't bad by any means. Give me 1 second, sorry. Throat's drying up. Zelda isn't bad. I really enjoy doing the combo where you basically form your Guardian, you run up, grab them, they get hit by the Guardian, and then you up air them. It does like 50%, and it's pretty much impossible to avoid because you're grabbing them, but at the same time, as soon as you start forming the Guardian, the second time after you've done that trick, they're like, oh, this asshole's about to grab me. So, you probably won't pull it off twice in the same match. But still, the Over B is a really good kill option. Like, you can ledge guard really well with it. Guardian is really interesting. In fact, and how you use it. If you fully form it, it blocks projectiles as you release it, so that's kind of cool. Overall, I hate to call it what it is, but it's basically a crappy version of Palutena at this point. So, decent character, but overall just not that great. Piranha Plant's definitely next. So Piranha Plant has a interesting kit in terms of how the Poison Cloud works, the Spike Ball, the down B kill confirm, in all the smashes, but has a lot of lag time, has very few true combos, and the aerials are kind of lackluster. And then on top of that, the projectiles are not fast, they're easy to predict and easy to avoid. So realistically, it's kind of like Zelda with her Guardian. If you want to land the Poison Cloud, you are either using it as a wall to protect yourself so you can throw your spike ball without repercussion unless they have projectiles, or you are using that as a confirm from grab. So you grab and throw into the poison cloud you just made. Like, that's basically the only thing that's going to happen with that. Except low level play, you'll probably see it. Next one is going to be the Mii Gunner. So the Mii Gunner is basically crappy Samus. That's all there is to be said about that. There's nothing special about it. If you're going to play that one, play Samus instead. Or Dark Samus. It doesn't matter. It's just a crap version of it. Next one, I'm going to say Byleth. Where you at, Byleth? There it is. So, I actually... I'm going to say C tier. So, I actually really like Byleth. I really, really enjoy playing Byleth. Her kit, it's entertaining. Her kit is really entertaining. The issue I have with Byleth is that the downtime on B and down B is really long. The over B has a huge hitbox, but is really punishable. The fair, back air, down air, neutral air, all of it has a lot of lag time, and specifically the front air, back air of Byleth is really precise. You really, really have to time it perfectly. In high level play, you're just better off with someone that has a more forgiving forward air, like Roy, Chrom, or Ike even, have just way more forgiving forward air, back airs. It's just, I would say that Byleth's down smash is one of the strongest in the game, and down airs is really strong. But again, the aerials for Byleth are really precise. They're really hard to land. You're really only going to get that down air on a scrub player or off of your own confirm when they can't avoid it. Yoshi, I think, is going to be my next one. So Yoshi is fairly strong, and I've seen a lot of high-level play. ESAM notably likes playing Yoshi, but like he says in some of his videos where he does play him, he would never take him into the actual competitive scene. It's one of his characters that he wants to goof around with. Fun character, but recovery is not good enough, and overall moveset is just not good enough. You probably will see high-level Yoshis, but you won't ever see one win a tournament. Not for Ultimate, anyway, unless they do something crazy to buff him. I'm going to say Hero next. So, Hero by no means is bad, but he's also not good. It's really dependent on your luck, honestly, because his whole kit kind of revolves around the RNG of down B. All of his moves feel really meaty, like they have real weight to them, and it's kind of cool. And he's a fun character, but he's just not that great a character. I would say if they were to speed up his aerials and maybe give him a further knockback on his forward smash, he would be way stronger. But he's fairly weak right now. But because of how down B works, he's lethal. So, my next one, this is, by the way, this is not a Wi-Fi list for the most part. Because if it's a Wi-Fi list, Sonic and Ness are at the top. No one is better than Sonic or Ness in the top in Wi-Fi. This is for, like, in-person fighting. I'm going to put Sonic next. Sonic is one of my most hated characters, for sure. He's obnoxious. he really lends to spammers, people that like to just spam abilities that are hard to avoid or counter. He has very little downtime because of how fast he is on a lot of moves, making him harder to punish. He's he's just really an obnoxious character. You probably won't ever see him win a tournament unless it's a Wi-Fi tournament, though, because his moves aren't that great, and in pro level play, they will punish the hell out of him for a lot of his moves. It's harder to do on Wi-Fi, which is why people hate him on Wi-Fi, because he's already hard to punish in normal circumstances. The next one, hopefully Leon never sees this list, but I'm going to put Bowser next. So I really enjoy playing Bowser, and Leon, I believe, has actually won pro tournaments with him. Bowser is really, really strong, but the average player and the majority of pro players will never, ever win a tournament with him. Leon is the exception because he's the world's best Bowser. The best in the world. So, any one of these characters, if you're the best in the world with them, maybe you can win with them. I personally think that Leon is just a god with Bowser, and that's why he was able to win so much with Bowser. And people never expect it. Like, well, I shouldn't say never. ESAM respects the hell out of him, and I've seen a lot of pros that respect him, but at the same time, I've seen plenty of people that talk shit. You know, they say that they don't think Bowser's good, they don't think Leon's good, but just watch any game with Leon in it. Like, he'll make you feel silly for saying that. He's a god with Bowser. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on to, let's say, Corrin. So Corrin got some buffs over the past couple of patches, didn't get one this one. I assume they think that she's in a good spot. He, I don't know what the Corrin is. Corrin is good. Not anywhere near what Corrin was in the previous game, but still strong. By no means something to sleep on. I don't think you'll see a Corrin win any pro play because people who used to play Corrin stopped. It's not worth playing anymore. But Corrin is still really strong. Has really good smash attacks. The pin is so good. Dragon's Bite is really fun. Aerials are really nice. Ledge trapping's decent. Offstage is really nice. I don't see enough people use her offstage correctly, but overall, good character. My next one, actually, I'm gonna put Mewtwo down here. I completely forgot about him. Mewtwo is decent, but is too slow. The tail, the back air, his tail is still kind of wild in terms of its hitbox. It still kind of flails around and also makes your hitbox a little bigger. And overall, I just don't like Mewtwo. It feels really bad to play, and he's nothing like he used to be. He was only good in one game, and ever since, and before it even, he was not good. He's never going to be good in this game, I don't think, unless they just buff the hell out of his neutral A. If they make his neutral A a better drag down, kind of like Pikachu's, into like grabs and combos like that, maybe he'll be more viable. But from what I can remember, Mewtwo cannot drag down Nair like Pikachu can. So next one, I am going to say, I want to say Banjo, but let's see. No, I think it's going to be Sheik. I was deciding between the two. I think that Sheik is a little bit worse than Banjo right now. So, Sheik, Sheik is Sheik. Sheik is just like he used to be in the previous games. They made his combos a little bit harder to land, I think. Gave it a more narrow hitbox, and then also they added some frames onto a couple of his aerials. Excuse me. But Sheik is still Sheik, very fast, has decent kill confirms, good offstage presence, decent recovery. Sheik is Sheik. Not much else to say about that. So we're gonna move up to B tier now. Banjo is next. So Banjo, I've seen Tweak play him. Banjo is actually very strong, in my opinion. And if it wasn't for how awkward it can be to use Banjo's grenade while trying to combo, then I would say Banjo would be higher. That in the fact that you literally cannot recover any of your the feathers. I can't remember what it's called, but he can't recover any of those until he dies, which means that if you get into disadvantage and you lose for stock, you're at a disadvantage unless you used all 5 of the feathers, the gold feathers, whatever they're called. But Banjo's still really strong, and that over B is really, really strong. Unless you manage to punish it before he goes all the way through with it, or punish the landing on it. But if it hits you at like 70% or higher, you're dead. It's insanely strong. And overall, Banjo has good combos, has an amazing up air, just has really good moves overall. I like Banjo. I don't like playing him, but he's a strong character. Next one is going to be Ken. Where's my boy Ken at? So Ken is not an echo of Ryu by any means, but he might as well be, just because Ken is kind of meh, and Ryu is just slightly better. I like Ken more than I do Ryu, but that's from a personal preference. It's not because Ken is better. Ryu is arguably better in terms of stats, in terms of downtime. His pretty much all his moves are better. It's just I like Ken just from how he plays. His play style is better to me. Next one is going to be Ness. Again, this is not Wi-Fi based. If it was Wi-Fi based, Sonic Ness top. But Ness is decent. His ledge guard and ledge trapping is almost unmatched. Not unmatched, but it is almost unmatched. It is really hard to deal with the Ness once he gets you off stage. Ness has kind of a blasé recovery, and with the buff that just came out, I wouldn't be surprised if you see someone like Best Ness win tournaments, because Ness is insanely strong right now. They buffed all of his aerials and lowered downtime, and they buffed his neutral B. So he's going to be way, way more dangerous than he was. I can't wait, honestly, to see what Best Ness does with him. I used to like playing Ness a lot, but we'll see. Next one is going to be Normal Link. So Normal Link is really, really fun, but it's all about playing around your down B bomb, and I don't like that. I know that that's basically every Link ever is playing around down B, but it feels like there's so much emphasis on it in this one that you really don't have a choice. Where in the previous ones, it was something to use, not something that you had to work around. But in this one, it's what you use for every situation. Your bomb should be out. Next one is actually going to be... This is a tough one. I'm going to say Wii Fit Trainer. So Wii Fit Trainer, I would say, is a hidden gem. And that's not... I'm not saying that from a perspective of, oh, I like how she plays, oh, I like this character. I don't like playing Wii Fit Trainer. I don't like playing against Wii Fit Trainer, but I think that she is secretly really strong, and people don't know it. All of the moves hit really hard, has a really versatile kit, has good ledge trapping, good recovery, literally can heal herself with her down B. You can time all of it in the air. Wii Fit is very versatile, and arguably really strong. It's just kind of slept on. I am sorry, my bird's kind of the worst. Next one is going to be Pichu. So Pichu used to be on par with Pikachu, but has notably gotten nerfed. Pichu used to be, yeah, on par is the best way to put it. On par with Pikachu, but got nerfed heavily. Um, I would say, yeah, definitely just not as good as she used to be. Not worth playing anymore. If you're gonna play Pichu, just play Pikachu. I'm sure there's tons of Pichu mains that would hate me for saying that, but that's just the nitty gritty of it. So move on to the next one, which is gonna be Captain Falcon. Now, Captain Falcon for me used to be like bottom of C, maybe even D tier. Captain Falcon got some buffs in, I believe, 7 and 8, and he's really strong. If you watch Fatality at all, you'll see what he's capable of. Fatality already rocked this character really well, but now with the buffs, he's so much scarier. And Fatality, I wouldn't be surprised if you see him winning like a tournament here soon, because Falcon is way stronger than he was, and he is just absolutely godlike with Falcon. So expect to see Fatality playing a lot more Falcon, or playing in a lot more tournaments. Let's go with Ike next. So Ike is probably my favorite super heavy. He's very, very strong, very, very fun. He has great air options. They're just fantastic air options. His smash attacks, if you smash attack literally any character that's light or medium at 50% or higher, there's a good chance they die. His offstage options are okay. His up B is just god tier move. Like, Ike overall is just insanely strong. Yeah, I really like Ike. I'm actually going to grab Ryu, and Ryu's going to go right here. So, I completely forgot about him. I like him, but I don't like him as much as Ken, but he is technically stronger than Ken, but they're kind of echoes, but kind of not. Their kits are slightly varied. Ryu is technically stronger than Ken in terms of how good his kit is, but I like Ken more. But if you're going to play any of the fighter characters that have, out of the three that have the turnaround mechanic and the good fighting styles, Terry is way better than either of these guys. Alright, so let's go ahead and move to the next one, which is going to be Mega Man. So, I personally hate fighting Mega Man. He is obnoxious character, but he is really strong. There's no arguing against that. I don't remember who the pro player is that plays a lot of Mega Man. He still does, and I remember seeing him in Worlds versus Tri-State, I believe it was. But I mean, Mega Man is just really strong, but he's obnoxious. That's just all there is to be said about him. He has a crazy amount of, ranged attacks. A lot of them combo into other stuff. He has great kill confirms, good offstage, good recovery, good aerials. Like, he's got it all, and I hate him. He's obnoxious. So, I hope you guys cannot hear my bird. I don't know if you can, but he's kind of being obnoxious, and I can't interrupt what I'm doing to deal with it. So I'm going to turn down my volume just a tiny, tiny bit. There we go. Hopefully you don't hear him as much, and I will try to talk up. Alright, so there we go. Going back to my notes. Okay, so my next one is going to be Greninja, I think. Yeah. So personally, I really enjoy playing Greninja, and Greninja is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. But his kill confirms are a little hard to land. He has a fair amount of lag time on most of his kill confirms. Once you know how the over B works in terms of just watch the shadow, it's really easy to predict and punish it. His counter is good, but not as good as some other characters who I will discuss here in a moment. And I don't know. He's got a lot of options. He is strong. I would say that the higher level play you go, the weaker he gets, though. He's not unplayable in high level play, and you might see one win a tournament even at some point. But I don't think he's the strongest at what he is. Fast medium. I think Zero Suit's a way better choice if you're gonna play fast medium or light character. They might be light. I think they're mediums though. So my next one is gonna be Steve. Unfortunately, I really hate how Steve plays. I'm not a huge fan of the character itself. I understand why they put it in, and it's cool that they're bringing in more diversity into the game in terms of like what games they're willing to put characters in from. Because if they're willing to reach all the way for even Steve, you know that it won't be that crazy if they bring in somebody from Soul Calibur or Mortal Kombat or something like that. They could add even more diversity to the game. So that is a positive. Overall, Steve's kit is definitely unique, but I think it's way too campy. Like, he has to camp. He has to build up minerals or materials, and as he's doing that, it's kind of putting him at risk of getting just bodied. I don't like Steve, but he is very strong to the point where I would say he's probably going to get nerfed at some point. So my next one is going to be Young Link. He is arguably the strongest out of all the Links because he basically plays like previous Link from the other games. I don't like this Link in terms of compared to the previous games, but I like him more than the other two Links in the game. Because there's less emphasis on the down B, like on your bombs, but he still has all the strengths in his aerials and in his ground game, his range attacks. So I do still like this one. He's just not. He's not what people who play Link from the previous game really wanted, at least in my opinion. The next one is going to be. Let's go ahead and go with Samus. So I personally really like playing Samus, and I prefer normal Samus to Dark Samus for that matter. I personally don't know why people like Dark Samus more, because Samus is way less floaty and faster. But people tend to play Dark Samus. If there's a reason for it, I don't know it. So if you know, go ahead and leave it in the comments below what the difference is. I don't know, like, why people like Dark Samus or why it's better. So for that, I'm putting him like right, or putting her, because Zero Suit, same person. But anyway, I'm putting it same group right here. This is opinion based. I know every other person is going to put Dark Samus way above normal Samus. I prefer normal Samus. I think she's better. I don't understand the difference or why people don't like her more. My next one is going to be Olimar. If you have ever seen Dabuz play him, you know why he's even here. No, still putting B tier. So Olimar is annoying to play against, because part of what people argue against him for is that Olimar has to micromanage Pikmin, but the same could be said about the person playing against him. You have to micromanage the Pikmin because you need a good low frame kill option to kill the Pikmin off of you once he gets them on you, because no matter what you do, you will end up with Pikmin on you. And if you sit there and let them wail on you, you're going to take a ton of damage. If you use a high frame move to kill them off of you, he's going to punish you. So he's just kind of obnoxious to play against. Your best option is to camp against him, which is why I don't put him higher, because if you camp against him, you can easily beat him, in my opinion anyway. I've never struggled against an Olimar because anytime I see one, I camp. Is it Is it what I like doing? No. I like being in the middle of the fight, up close and personal. But if I got to camp, I'm going to camp. Alright, so my next one is going to be Snake. Snake was really, really, really strong in the last game. He's still very strong in this game, to the point where you might see him win a tournament. His main issue is that a lot of higher level characters just he has really bad matchups with a lot of the stronger characters in this game, which puts him way lower. Um, there's not much to be said about Snake. He's a I have grenades. I throw grenades. I play C4. Just campy character. He's just campy. He's really strong with it, but he's a camp character. Rob is going to be next, and if you've seen, I think it's 8-Bit Man play him. Rob is really strong, actually. I like Rob, but again, there are better characters in my opinion, but not so much that I think Rob couldn't win a tournament. I think that if 8-Bit Man gets a little bit better with his, I feel like he's a player that kind of lets the sway of the battle get control of him, so when things start going badly for him, he has a hard time recovering from that. If he gets a little bit better as a player overall, rather than a Rob player, because he is the best Rob player I know of, he will be able to win more tournaments. He's a very good player. By no means am I insulting the man, but he just has to work on his overall control of each gameplay. He can't let each match, influence the set. So, my next one is going to be Game & Watch. Just because Game & Watch has two kind of, I wouldn't say busted, but borderline busted moves. So, if you've seen Meister play, Meister is a phenomenal player. So this is not meant to be like Meister's only good because of Game & Watch has busted moves. No, Meister is insanely good, and when Meister is playing an advantage, I would say the Meister is the best in advantage player that I know of. When he plays from advantage, he's terrifying. So the issue with Game & Watch, I would say, I live on a hill, and when people try to drive up it, it makes their cars scream in agony. But anyway, Game & Watch, his up B out of shield, bonkers strong. His up air is insanely strong in terms of he has like no downtime on it, like no lag after using it. It stuns the enemy for longer than it takes you to recover. It's hard to avoid, has multiple hits. It's just, they're both really strong moves. Borderline broken. I would say that the up air needs a nerf. The up B out of shield, it's good, but it's not like broken. But the up air, I would say, needs a slight nerf. He needs a little bit more lag, I think, when he uses it, so that it's harder for him to chain them together, because he makes it really, really, really hard to like SDI out of it. So, my next one is going to be Chrom. So Chrom is dumb, okay? Chrom and Roy are dumb. I'm actually going to put these two up here. So Chrom is kind of like the lesser version of Roy, but they're both kind of insane. Now, this is no knock on anybody who plays Chrom or Roy. Like, I know Goblin loves playing Roy. They're kind of ridiculous. They hit really hard. They have amazing moves, and just everything about them is ridiculous. If they were a little bit faster and their recoveries were a little less crappy, Chrom and Roy would be S tier for sure. They would be just dumb. So this one's going to surprise some people, and I think a lot of people sleep on this character. It's going to be Min Min. So Min Min, her ledge trapping is just so insane, it's arguably OP. Being able to Dragon's Breath off the side, Chakrams off the side, and then having, if you do Dragon Breath offside or follow Dragon's Breath as they're recovering, and use whatever the hell that stupid shock ball attachment is called. Um, she just covers so many options, has insane range game, good aerials, good recovery. I don't like characters that have to latch onto the edge and pull themselves up. A lot of people know how to guard against that and beat that recovery option, but Min Min is slept on in my opinion and really really strong. So I'm gonna put Palutena next, and this one's gonna piss off Nairo fans. Palutena is really really strong, but is not as good as she could be. A lot of her options, it's the only reason Nairo does so well with her is because Nairo is really good at this game. He's phenomenal. Um, Palutena herself, her air options are all good, but her ground game is really lacking in my opinion, and the frames that it takes to recover from a lot of her ground moves are not that good. That's why you constantly see Nairo short hopping with her, because there's almost no reason to attack on the ground. I also don't like the downtime on her over B or her normal B. Neutral B or over B are just kind of, they're just too slow. Let's move on to Inkling. When Inkling first, when I first played against Inkling, I thought Inkling was going to be OP because of how the ink mechanic works, but I think it's in a good spot right now. Inkling is really, really, really strong, but I would say Inkling kind of lacks kill confirms if you play smart against her. It's when you play too aggressive that you get caught by Inkling. Next one's going to be Pac-Man, which I'm sure anybody who's a fan of T probably likes that. Pac-Man is really, really strong. I actually think weaker than the previous game, but I do like that they made it to where down air and over B are more able to kill confirm. But still, the hydrant play is really strong. Pulling out fruits, being campy with Pac-Man works really well. His recovery is insane. His offstage options are good. They did make it to where you could hit the trampoline that he drops when he up Bs, so technically he's a little easier to kill off stage than he used to be. But still, I mean, if you've seen T play, Pac-Man is still really, really, really good. My next one's going to be Mario. First person that comes to mind for Mario is going to be Dark Wizzy. Dark Wizzy is a god with this character, and no one plays Mario like Dark Wizzy does. And I don't just mean in terms of how good, it's the play style that Dark Wizzy brings to Mario that makes him so unique with him. Dark Wizzy plays the best Mario in the world, bar none, for sure. I really, really like Mario. There is no one in the game that has the same feeling to them, especially when it comes to short hop spiking people off the edge when they're trying to jump recover. It is hilarious, and it pisses people off, and I love doing it. But Dark Wizzy plays a way more respectable Mario than I ever will. But still just insanely strong. He has great options in terms of aerials. He has great ground moves, low lag time. He has a nice neutral B that allows him to engage or disengage when he needs to, help him recover. Just overall, the only thing I don't like about Mario is the Flood, but Dark Wizzy uses it well. I just can't use it the same way he does. I love him, but I don't like the Flood personally, but he makes it work so good. Next one's going to be Roy. Roy, I really wish I could put lower down. I can't. Roy is insanely strong to the point where he's borderline busted, in my opinion. I kind of hate Roy. I really, really hate him. Oh, before I forget, Incineroar. He's going down here. I just randomly saw him and I was like, what is he still doing in this list? Incineroar is E tier. I wish Incineroar was good. I wish he was strong. I wish he had better recovery, but he doesn't. He could be so fun. He is fun, but he's trash tier, sadly. Back to Roy. Roy is bonkers strong. Every one of his moves hits like a truck. Every one of his moves is a kill option. Like, everything about him is just dumb. The character's dumb. But it still takes skill to play him. It still takes skill to understand what the other person is going to do and predict them. So this is no means to, hate on Goblin or any other Roy player. It's just I personally think that Roy is a really strong character and a little bit too strong in terms of how he hits. I think his knockback needs nerfed on some of his moves just because he hits so damn hard. But at the same time, that's kind of how they built the character. So the next one is probably going to surprise people because most people don't rate this character the same way I do. Also, I forgot Richter. They're Echo characters. As far as I know, they are Echoes. Terry is next for me. So that one's probably going to surprise people because most people don't rate Terry any higher than B or C. Terry, to me, is insanely strong version of Ryu and Ken. Terry, he hits so hard. He combos into all of his moves really easily, and he has virtually no downtime from his jabs. So he can jab, and you would think you'd be able to, for like Cloud or Game & Watch, up B out of shield as he finishes the last jab. No, you cannot. If you do that, he's going to jab you. Unless they overpower that move. He's just so crazy strong on the ground. And then, unlike Ryu and Ken, in the air, he doesn't have to, focus and try to touch the ground again, or spike, or over B. He can over B, back B, down B. He can up B. He can just start chopping or kicking in the air. All of his options are strong. They overpower most other characters' moves. They hit for like 20% no matter what. Their hitboxes are gigantic. His down B avoids things and then hits hard. He's just very strong character. I think Riddles is a very good example of what Terry's capable of. If you haven't watched him, go watch Riddles. He's the best Terry player that I know of, and it really shows that a good Terry could probably win a lot of tournaments. My next one is going to be Pokemon Trainer. So a lot of people, have seen Tweak play him. So Pokemon Trainer is very, very, very strong. And it's mostly because of how diverse you can be. You can literally switch between... It's basically like playing 3 characters in one. You can switch in between each one, and depending on the circumstance, switch to another from what you need it to do. Squirtle's your combo character, damage dealer. Ivysaur's an amazing offstage smash attack character. Charizard's your heavy recover character that also hits like a truck and has like 3 kill throws. So, Pokemon Trainer is phenomenally strong. Great aerials on like every one of the Pokemon. Just a really good pick, honestly. It's hard to go wrong with this character, even if you just main one of the Pokemon. So, just really strong. My next one is going to be Fox. So, anyone who knows who Fox is probably knows who the pro player is that plays him the most. As far as I know, it's Light. Light is the best Fox that I'm aware of and plays an amazing advantage state. I would say that he also is a person that lets his emotions get the better of him in terms of once he starts losing, it feels like it's hard for him to recover that. I think that if he can overcome that, he will start winning more tournaments because he is a phenomenal player and really, really scary good with Fox. So I think he just needs to work on that a little bit, and you'll see him a lot more. Next one's going to be Lucina. So Lucina is basically what Marth wishes he was. Lucina has basically what previous Marth had in terms of good tippers, good sweet spots, great back air, forward air, down air, up air, great mobility, fast speed. Basically just better Marth at this point, as sad as that is, because I miss Marth. But if you liked previous Marth, just play Lucina. Okay, so next one's going to be Wolf. Wolf is really commonly played, like a lot of people play him, and that's because he's really, really strong, like crazy strong, in almost every state. Advantage, disadvantage, off stage, aerials, like he can do it all. And he even has a ridiculous projectile to keep people at bay if he needs to. So he's just a really strong character. Out of all of the Fox series characters, Wolf is the strongest. Let's go with Zero Suit next. So Zero Suit is commonly played. A lot of people know who it is. Zero Suit is kind of low-key busted, in my opinion. If Zero Suit had better kill options, I would say that she would be the top tier out of all of them. But doesn't have amazing kill options, and also struggles to rack up damage if you aren't careful with her combos. But impossible to hit if she doesn't want to be hit. What I mean by that is if a Zero Suit starts playing defensively and just plays the run away from you game, you are never going to catch her and you are never going to hit her, because she has a ridiculous hitbox, is fast as hell, and has a crazy amount of invulnerability frames on most of her moves. Just a kind of a dumb character in my opinion. But again, this is all opinion based. You don't have to agree with me. So someone I forgot to put in here. I'm going to put Cloud down here. So some of you might be upset that Cloud is this high. I personally think that, especially with the buff that Cloud got not long ago, Cloud is actually very strong. And he's making a comeback, especially with Spargo and MKLeo playing. Well, is it MKLeo? I know Spargo's been playing him a lot and showing what he can really do. I think that Cloud has a higher skill cap than he used to, in terms of you really can't just juggle with up air anymore. You have to use the back air and forward air a lot more. But I think that Cloud is still very strong. He's not god tier like he was, but he's still really strong. So my next one is definitely going to have to be Wario. So, oh wait, hold on. Let's deal with Bowser Jr. I missed him too. So Bowser Jr. is Bowser Jr. He is insanely campy. He actually got a lot of buffs this past patch, but I haven't gotten to really see them in action. But he seems like he's going to be a lot more pro level play. But I don't think you'll see him win any tournaments. I'm going to put Bowser down here. He's strong, but I don't think that Bowser Jr. is going to be doing anything too crazy at any tournaments anytime soon. My next one, yeah, it's going to be Wario. Whoops. So Wario, Tweak, you've seen Tweak play him. He has insane combos, like bonkers combos. He has that, I wouldn't call it a catch-up mechanic, but he has a I'm ready to kill you option when he gets waft. He's versatile in terms of he can play defensively or offensively. He has good stage control. He has good offstage presence. He has good air presence, ground damage or ground presence. Like he's versatile and strong in every aspect, which is why he's S tier. He's good at everything. My next one is going to be, I'm going to say Shulk. So Shulk got a nerf to his shield, which is why he's not second place anymore. Because shield actually made it really hard to kill him off if he didn't want to die. It was good. You could use shield basically on the fly to help yourself get back to stage and recover, and then switch back into, Buster or Smash if you were trying to finish the game, or Speed, whatever. Basically, it made him really versatile. But now with Shield making it to where you still get knocked back really far, Even if you're in shield, you just take less damage. It makes it to where he doesn't have as much stage control, but it's still Shulk. He has an insanely strong counter. He has really, really, really strong aerials, really strong smash attacks. He has to be very precise with some of them, but he's still crazy strong character with a lot of kill confirms. Especially if you're good with those Minato arts, he's a crazy strong character. So my next one is going to be Peach and Daisy. So Peach and Daisy, everybody has seen Samsora play Peach. Peach and Daisy they're Echo characters. Peach is probably the pros one of their more hated characters to play against, I think. I see a lot of people talk down about Peach. She's insanely strong. There is some RNG to it because of the turn-ups turning into, Mr. Stitches, or Stitch Face, whatever the hell it's called, and Bomb. But at the same time, there is... I don't think that she is OP, but close. I think that being able to float, half an inch above the stage and just spam back air is kind of ridiculous because it has no lag and it hits like a truck, but Peach is just kind of a niche character. You have to want to play Peach to even bother. I'm going to put Pikachu next. People may be surprised by that just because they would expect me to put Joker next, but Pikachu is insanely strong. Has multi-hits on tons of moves, covers so much in terms of off-stage, on-stage, in the air, recovery options, just everything. Pikachu can recover from borderline anything unless it's just instantly into the Blast Zone. Even then, if you can DI correctly, you could possibly survive even some of those. And then Pikachu hits like a truck when Pikachu needs to. Pikachu is borderline OP, very, very close to it. I will say that Pikachu has a really high skill cap, in my opinion anyway. If anyone's ever seen ESAM player compared to, how other people may play her, there is a noticeable difference. So I wouldn't say OP at lower level, but may need a slight nerf. Sorry, ESAM. Joker is my number one. By far, for me, anyway. This is probably somewhat personal opinion bias playing in because this is my most hated character to play against. So there's some bias here, I would say. Joker, he's kind of like Zero Suit wrapped in a Roy cover when he gets Persona. So what I mean by that is when he is just normal Joker, he has a good amount of campiness to him with Gun and the Over-B, I can't remember what it's called, the Datsu, like 23% for some unknown reason. On top of that, on top of him being campy, if he doesn't want to get hit by you, unlikely you're going to hit him. His counter lasts 1.25 seconds. That is broken, in my opinion, because it's one thing to have to time a counter, like Lucario's counter, or Ike's counter, Roy's counter, Mars counter. You have to time those fairly well. You only have like 0.75 seconds. Joker's last so long that pretty much any move that people throw out, you're going to at least get 1 to 2 counters in a match. And those 1 to 2 counters matter for Joker more than anyone else. Because not only is he stopping that damage when he's in just normal Joker form, he's getting our arson bar. And the faster he gets that, the way more dangerous he is. Because as soon as he has Joker, not only will his counter reflect, but it still makes him vulnerable for 1.25 seconds. And then his recovery gets better. His damage options are just insane. Like his Over-B will take you for like 30% His kill options everything becomes a kill option. He can juggle you super easy. In my opinion, I think the Joker's counter needs to be reworked, completely removed. I do not think that a character that has a bar, like, it'd be like if Cloud had limit break but also had a counter that gave him limit. Anybody who were to see that, they would call that busted. But Joker gets that for free. Like, he basically gets to get Arson whenever he wants just by playing counter out. Now, don't get me wrong, I've seen MKLeo play him, and I've seen how pros like to counter the counter, but I've seen tons of pros also give Arson for free because that counter is hard to predict and or guess when it's going to happen. And all he needs to do is get it to work once or twice, and that's Arson more often. And Arson is way too strong, so his counter needs to be removed and switch for something else. His over B shouldn't be dot damage. It should be just an instantaneous hit that doesn't knock back unless he's an Arson. And then I also believe that Arson's overall knockback on all of the hits needs to be lowered a tiny bit, just because it feels like everything for Arson at 70% is a kill move. So, again, mostly personal preference, but I've seen a lot of people talk about how ridiculous Joker is. I personally think that he needs nerfed. In my opinion, him, Pikachu, Peach, Shulk, and Wario are technically an S tier, but Joker's S+. Joker is way stronger than the others. But again, some personal stuff playing into that. But anyway, thank you all for watching. If you watched all the way through, I took a lot of time to really think about this. I put a lot of effort into putting all these in, and this is 9.0 viability. If you have any ideas or anything you would like me to make content about, or any suggestions on how I can improve my content, go ahead and put it in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Share it with your friends. Thank you very much. Have a great day.